And we're going to start by drawing a square that's 150 by 150. And we're going to go ahead and extrude it the full length of 300. So I'm going into Creo. I'm going to click New. This is assuming I've already set my working directory. If you don't set your working directory, it's not going to save to the right location. And we're using Google Drive G for everything, even if the video references possibly the H drive or somewhere else to save. Everything's going to Google Drive. And we're going to call this Extrude Continued. I'm just going to call it something different here for my demo, but you can call it Extrude Continued. Hit OK. We're making a part, and we are extruding. We're extruding on the front view, and we're hitting Sketch View. Sketch View orients me to the view that I'm actually drawing on. And here's where I'm going to make the change. Instead of just drawing a rectangle wherever, maybe down in this corner, I'm going to use these two planes to help me in the future. I know I'm going to be putting a peg on this drawing, and these two little planes are going to help me center that peg eventually. So what are these planes that I'm looking at? Well, if you spin your drawing, you can see that I'm looking at the edge of the right plane and the edge of the top plane. Sketch View brings me back to the front, which I'm actually drawing on. I want to center a square on here. There's a little bit of a trick here to center this square. You can use a center line while extruding. So if I place a center line and click it to here and place it vertically, you have to click twice to get to do that. And then I click on the horizontal line, click twice and make this horizontal. I've got two center lines. Now, how do I know I really have them? Well, you can take your arrow and mouse over them, and it'll say center line. That'll pop up. It's also referred to as a construction line. It goes on forever, or we say infinity. And then when we draw a normal rectangle across here, basically as I cross over the center line, when I get to the same distance across the center line, it's going to snap. You can see it kind of jump to a snapped point. That means that the left side is equal to the right side. Now I'm going to go across this line, and it'll snap. And now the top is the same as the bottom. So basically I have a symmetrical or balanced square or rectangle, whatever is here. It's at least centered across the center line. I'm going to middle click my mouse, which is the scroll wheel, which is going to pop up my weak dimensions. And then I'm going to double click these and make it 150 and 150. Okay, and so what I've done basically is I've made a square that's centered on my right and top plane. And I'm going to use those centered planes eventually to center the peg. So by thinking ahead in this way, I make my drawing much simpler to go through. So now we're going to go ahead and accept the 2D drawing. You can see that it's extruding it. If we review back to what we're doing, we're extruding it to a length of 300. So we go back to here, we can type in 300. Now something else we might want to do or think about as we move forward is, just like we centered the square across the two center lines, we can actually center the extrusion across the plane I drew it on. So this is the front plane. It's extruding out in one direction, a total of 300. There's an option up here in this pull down menu toward the upper left. If I pull this down, that I can actually extrude it symmetrically across the drawing plane. So if I click that, look what's going to happen. 150 of it goes behind the front plane, and 150 of it goes in front of the plane. Well, now I've got a plane centered in my shape, which could be useful in the future. And then I'm going to accept this drawing. So now I'm ready to move on to the next step, which is centering the peg. This is going to be much easier now because I've got something to reference where the center is. So we're going to go to Extrude. We're going to draw on this surface right here. But I'm going to actually make a mistake right now intentionally, just so you can see how to get out of it. I'm going to click the wrong surface. And then I'm going to hit Sketch View. And then I notice, if I'm a student doing this, that, whoa, I'm not drawing on the correct side. I want to draw over here. But every time I hit Sketch View, it goes to the wrong side. Well, Sketch View never lies. It's going to show you what you're actually drawing on. So we're in, if you look over here in the model tree, we've made our little square extruded, which is Extrude 1. I'm working on the peg, which is Extrude 2. And to cancel that Extrude 2, it's a two-step cancellation. I hit cancel once, okay, and say yes here. And the first cancellation cancels the plane I originally clicked on, or this surface, I should say. If I cancel a second time, which I'm not going to do, it'll kill the extrude for good. I actually want to, after the first cancel, hit the surface I actually want to draw on. So I'm going to click that surface and then hit sketch view. And you can see now it orients me to the view I actually want to draw on. And then I can go ahead and take my circle, draw on here, middle click, dimension this to the 50, and continue on like this. As I accept this drawing then, it probably will add material. And so you can read your plan and put the numbers in. If for some reason it's going into the shape, that's this flip button up here. If it's flipped in, it's going to remove material. There's also remove material, which you can select on and off. But if it's just a matter of it going in the wrong direction, just use the flip button. If it's now still in removal, you can see it's removing from nothing, which doesn't really make any sense. But we'll turn off removal, and it's now giving me something. So then when you would adjust the length by reading your plan, accept it, make another peg, or mirror it across this plane that's centered. So hopefully that clarifies some things. But knowing where you're going with the drawing is really going to simplify the steps that you put in place so that you're successful.